Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gamedaytarps podcast. I'm your host, Dallas, alongside Ryley here, and today we have a very special guest coming on for episode 37.
We just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in again this week. We really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into this episode.
Come on then. Owen saves that score. Konnor Smith puts it home. And that's his first career OHL goal.
There's a shot. Konnor Smith. The Windsor, Ontario native.
And in front, they score! Welcome to the American Hockey League, Konnor Smith.
All right, everybody, today's featured guest, he is a OHL defenseman, 2023 OHL champ, and Anaheim Ducks prospect, Konnor Smith. Let's welcome him in here, boys.
Welcome, buddy.
Thank you. Honored to be here. Looking forward to it.
Great to have you, man. Appreciate you coming on the podcast today. So we're just going to do a little Q&A with you, get to know you a little bit, and talk about some thoughts on some hockey-related topics.
Sounds good.
All right, so my first question for you, Konnor, is who was your hockey inspiration growing up, and why number 6?
Yeah. My hockey inspiration growing up was there's a few guys. I like to model my style play off like Chris Pronger and Nicholas Cronwall. And I actually used to wear number 91 back in the day because of Stamkos, but
Nice.
once I got drafted to the OHL, Peterborough, obviously like Pronger played there, and it came to the point like where I was about to sign, and they asked me what number I liked or like I would like, and number 6 was available, and that was Chris Pronger's number. So I was like, would I be able to take number 6 and like wear that number with pride? And they're like, absolutely. Like you can take that number, and so I took it, ran with it, and that's definitely one of the guys I modeled my game after is Chris Pronger.
Sweet. Is his jersey number retired at the PMC there in the Raptors?
I don't think it is. I think he's there is definitely a banner of him, but I don't think they have any jerseys retired at the PMC.
So I wanted to ask you, obviously, you're a tower, 6'6", 210. Like, when did that growth spurt hit? Were you always tall? Were you a late bloomer? Like, when did this change for you? Like, you were able to start using your height to your advantage in the game of hockey?
Yeah. Well, my dad's used to be 6'6". He's shrinking a little bit now, but his side of the family is pretty tall. So I definitely take after my dad. But growing up, I was always on the taller side. I never really had like a big growth spurt. I was always definitely one of the taller, if not the tallest kid on my team. But a lot of times I felt like Bambi on ice because I was growing all the time, and it was hard to adjust to my body. But as I got like older, and like my growing kind of like halted a bit, I definitely grew into my body, which I still have a lot to do growing into my body, but I definitely got used to it. And yeah, I'm blessed with my dad's genes being 6'6", so I can't complain.
Definitely helps, man, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the OHL draft. Obviously, the 2019-2020 season got canceled, and you got drafted in that year. Just take me through where you were when you got drafted and where you heard and how you felt. Like, what was the emotion like when you heard that you were going to Peterborough?
Yeah. So thinking back to that time, Peterborough was the first team that reached out to me that season. It was right before Christmas. There was a letter in the mail, and it was them saying they recognized me as a prospect for the OHL draft. It wasn't too much, but just like said something along the lines of that. And I think I maybe had a few other teams reach out to me, and then obviously COVID happened right before the OHL Cup, and we were like 2 wins away from going there. So yeah, it was just kind of a standstill, waiting for COVID, seeing what's going to happen, and then the draft is on April 4th. Like that was I believe it was like the 3rd round to 15th round, and I didn't really know where I was. I was hearing like 12th to 15th round in the OHL, but So I woke up that morning pretty early, watched the whole draft actually with my parents, and yeah, all the way up until Peterborough picked me. But it was kind of weird because there was no announcements for the players. It was just a little text box on the side of the screen, and it would shift like very like small, and that's how you knew like a team was typing what player they had. So every time just seeing that little shift of a character and like a name popping up, then I saw my name pop up with Peterborough, and I was very happy, especially it being the first team that reached out to me, and the rich history that went on there. I couldn't have been happier to go to Peterborough.
Yeah, speaking of Peterborough, I mean, they've been around since what, 1956? They are one of the most historically operated and longest operated teams, if not in only the OHL, but the CHL as well. Like, to don that Peach jersey must have been an honor. And they also have the most Memorial Cup appearances in CHL history with 11. And also, you boys got to have the chance to come here in Kamloops, BC to the 2023 Memorial Cup. How was that as a team going through the OHL playoffs in 2023, defeating London, and making the trek here to Kamloops to face off in your very first Memorial Cup as a player?
Yeah, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. It was obviously a great time, and words can't really describe how great of a time it was. But we definitely went through a lot of adversity that season. Right after the trade deadline, we went on like an 8-game losing streak, like still trying to figure things out. Finally won a few games, and then went on another 5-game slide. So everyone was frustrated, but we knew we had the right pieces for the team to go a long way. But coming down the stretch to playoffs, we kind of got like on a little hot streak and solidified ourselves at 4th. So the whole playoffs, we were kind of an underdog that season, and we played Sudbury the first round, which wasn't an easy series. I know we swept them, but it was definitely a battle. And then we go on to play Ottawa, which was another top team that loaded up pretty heavily at the deadline, and beat them in 6. And then go on to play North Bay, which was like a very tough series. We go down 3-2. We park our bus out front the PMC, and we showed up with our bags ready to go up to North Bay the next day. And that was like on game 6. We were sending a message, and then won that game. Went up to North Bay, and like we won the Eastern Conference Final, which was awesome. But we weren't satisfied with that, obviously, and then went on to beat London in 6, which was a great experience, especially winning at home and in front of our fans. They're amazing there, and I think one of the best cities for fans in the OHL, if not the CHL. And then we went on, I believe it was like a Monday, and we were already flying out to Kamloops on the Wednesday. So it was a fast turnaround, and then quick couple practices, and then right into the playing games and all that. And it was an awesome experience to fly out to Kamloops. I was in BC before when I was young, and it was beautiful, but going out there to play hockey was definitely a different feeling. And then playing the games on different soil basically was pretty sweet. And then I know we didn't make it to the final, but it was still an awesome experience. And then we beat Quebec, which was the team that won it, so that's a little token in our cap. But words can't even describe how great of a feeling it was, especially to do it in my second year of playing in the OHL.
Oh, of course.
Was there any like fun things that you did in Kamloops as a team? Like anything that you got to visit or go somewhere? Like, what was your favorite part about going to Kamloops?
Yeah, one night we had a dinner at Tobiano Golf Course, which I think is maybe 30 or 45 minutes away from Kamloops, and
Yep.
it was beautiful there. We were on our way out there, and we were like, "Where are we going?" Like there was nothing but mountains, and I remember this one little river that went down the side of the road that we were driving down, and it was just no houses, no nothing, and then there's a little subdivision, and then the golf course, which was I'd say the most beautiful golf course I've seen in my life. And ate dinner there, took lots of pictures, lots of videos, hung out with the team. And then just the other thing would be walking out of the arena after practice or games, and all you see is mountains. It was beautiful. Definitely a lot different than Ontario.
Yeah, I think Tobiano's ranked 6th in Canada as a golf course.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
they're top 10 for sure.
They're
I
pretty,
think
yeah, they're pretty high up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
it was awesome there.
I mean, I could never play it. I need like 15 buckets of balls because you just lose them every time. You have to be so skilled. But yeah, it's a nice course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it windy when you guys were up there?
At Tobiano?
Yeah.
I don't think so. It was a really nice day actually. I don't think there was like a cloud in the sky. It was right around like just before sunset. So on the way home we got the sunset. But yeah, no, it wasn't too windy, which was nice.
Not bad. Tobiano is just notorious for being windy.
Oh, okay.
And a dust bowl.
Yeah.
We do a lot of
he's
jobs
right
out there
down-
for our work.
Yeah, right down in the valley. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Konnor, speaking of home, you and I both share a hometown of Windsor, Ontario. What was it like going back to play at the WFCU Center every time that the Petes would venture there a couple times a season? Like, I'm sure you were playing in front of many friends and family. Just walk me through like the experience of playing against the Spits.
Yeah, obviously I grew up watching the Spits. I went to a lot of games when I was younger. So coming back home, it was my second season, and my dad and my mom like put out some posts saying, "Oh, like Connor's coming back home," and like just having friends and family come out. So I remember coming out for my hometown lap and just seeing like the whole other like side of the ice that I came out on was like filled with. Some people made like these big like faces at me, just holding them at the glass, and there's probably
Nice.
maybe 200 people that were there. So it was honestly amazing to see how much people came out to support me, and it meant a lot to me. And I thought I played a great game, and came out afterwards to come see everybody, and they're all at the top of the stairs when I got to the top of the WFCU Center, and they like gave me a round of applause and said welcome home, and gave lots of hugs and all that to everybody. So I'm very grateful for that experience. It's always great coming back home and seeing friends and family.
That might be the best walk in hockey, hey? Down from the locker rooms up to where you know your whole family is. Like you're
Yeah.
proud, you're excited, they're all there, like all the emotions are hitting you as a junior
Yeah.
player. It's like the first time that you feel kind of like a big time player, right? Like all these people came for you specifically. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like just seeing all my friends, family, and people I haven't seen in years just come out, old teachers and all that. It was definitely awesome to see.
Other than the hometown arena, because I'm sure that's in the top of your list of favorite arenas to play in an away arena, what would be your favorite away arena that you've played in?
Oof. Favorite away arena, I'd say. Well, that's a tough one. A lot of people say London, but I'd have to go with either Oshawa or Barrie. I scored my first goal in Barrie. Yeah, it's got like a little memory to me, and I just think it's a cool little barn. It's like a smaller size, but it's more modern, which is nice. Another one I like is Ottawa. Ottawa's just awesome. It's like fairly unique with the big screen. There's not the jumbotron, and I remember it was the start of the season. We played there, and we were getting ready for warm ups, and they had the NFL Red Zone on there. It was like the big screen, and just like 6 different games going on at once. It was pretty neat.
That's cool. All right, well, should we jump to your draft? I mean, not many people can say this. This is honestly kudos to you. So 9th round OHL draft pick, but you get bumped up to a 4th round NHL draft pick. Like your story is incredible. What was that like going in the NHL draft in the 4th round, 97th overall to the Anaheim Ducks?
Yeah, I like to go back to my first year in the O. I stepped in as a 17-year-old as my first year, and Peterborough trusted me, and I'm very grateful for that. And I trusted what they had in store for me and what they were teaching me. So I took that and ran with it. I know the style of game I play, and it's a shutdown, hard-nosed physical defenseman. And I really took that game and ran with it. And I thought I had a pretty good first year, and made a pretty good name for myself going into my draft year. And then my draft year, I really just focused on playing my game and not worrying about points or what family or friends are saying about my game. So I just really like settled down and focused on what my coaches were feeding me, and really took it all in, and tried to make it as best as I could. And then teams started to reach out, which is nice, and it's always nice to see that your work's paying off and people are noticing it. So just the more teams reached out, the harder it made me work, and I was told that I was probably going to go in the late fourth, early fifth round. So I went down to Nashville with my family and my agent, and we got a close family friend from Nashville, so we went down a few days early, hung out a little bit in Franklin, Tennessee, and then went to Top Golf and just hung out in Nashville, and then really made a great experience out of it. And then went the first night to see a few buddies get drafted in the first round, which was awesome. And then going the second day, hoping to hear my name called, which it was again an unbelievable feeling. Hearing my name called by the Anaheim Ducks, great organization, and then once again, Chris Pronger played for that organization. So, it seems like the stars are aligning with Peterborough and then Anaheim. So, and then went down to the table, met everybody, met all the players that got drafted as well. It was just an awesome experience. And then going out to Dev Camp a week later, first time out in California at that time, and it's absolutely beautiful out there. So I love it.
Were
there any other teams? Oh, sorry. Were there any other teams that were looking at you other than Anaheim, like you had multiple interviews with?
Yeah, there are quite a few teams that were interested. I'd say there was maybe 18 to 20 teams that I knew were pretty interested, and I talked to I think maybe 26 teams, but Anaheim was one of, if not the first team to reach out as well.
Nice.
Minnesota was the first one, and then Anaheim was the second, I believe. But I had quite a few talks with Anaheim, and it worked out to go to that team.
Are you a fan of the rebrand, or no?
Yeah, I love the orange actually. I know a lot of people might not like the orange on orange, but I think it's awesome, and the kind of new or like the modern retro look on the logo. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love that they brought back that logo.
I personally think it was a long time coming too. I mean, I've always been a fan. I don't know if you've seen or you remember it, but the 2014 Anaheim Ducks Stadium Series jersey, the highlighter orange, just looks so great. But the fact they brought the retro logo back with that color scheme just looks so clean.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of it too.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the orange helmet and orange pants as well. I know some people might not be, but I think they're really taking the Orange County and running with it.
True.
So taking a step back now, after the draft, basically you came back to the O with Peterborough, and now you were a veteran defenseman in that core. And months later, you get traded to Owen Sound. How did it transpire from going with the Petes to the Owen Sound Attack, and how was that transition for you?
Yeah, it was like another experience in hockey that some people might not get to experience, but I had a pretty good idea that something was going to happen at the deadline. It was an honor to be a leader for Peterborough the first half of the year and wear a letter on the maroon jersey. And then leading up to the deadline, I knew it was any day at that point that could be dished out. So I heard a few different teams I could have went to, and then they pulled me in. They're like, Smitty, we traded to Owen Sound, and you're going with another player, and that ended up being Sam McHugh. So we went there, and it was awesome. Like the boys welcomed us with open arms. We actually drove down that morning, and we brought our bags, brought our all our clothes, all our stuff we brought from our billet house, dropped off at the rink, got right on the bus, and we were already on a road trip in Erie. So I didn't meet my billets until 3 nights later at 2 in the morning. We came home, so they were there. They greeted me in, and they were amazing. My billets were awesome. Sarah and Phil, they were great there. So lots of food there. She was a great cook, but it was a good experience and a great group of guys there. It was definitely a unique experience to go through.
Those Owen Sound gray jerseys are pretty clean, eh?
Yeah,
when Owen Sound unveiled them.
Yeah, they're definitely pretty sweet.
So going back to the Memorial Cup experience, when you guys lost to Kamloops that first game, what was the mindset going into the second game?
Yeah, we got beat pretty bad that game, and we all knew our season was on the line in that second game, and we knew it was do or die, and we didn't come all this way just to lose out. We wanted to win, obviously, like everyone does, but we went into that second game against Kamloops with a totally different mindset. We knew how they played, but they also knew how we played. So we really hunkered down, like on our D zone and our physical play. And it was a tough game. We were down, I think it was 4-1 going into the third period, and then I think Chase Tillman was the change in that game. He made that hit and then had that fight, and after that, like our whole team, our mindset, or like I'd say our aura changed, and we started playing a lot more confident. We started playing like on our toes. We weren't sitting back on our heels. So got a few goals after that, and then if I remember correctly, we may have went to overtime, and then I'm not too sure about that, but if we did go to overtime, yeah, it was a tight game, and we were lucky enough to bury, and yeah, it was definitely an awesome experience.
Well, you guys truly lived up to the namesake, the pesky Petes. You know, you guys pulled a whole 180 in that second game against the hosts, Kamloops Blazers. And basically, yeah, like you were saying, it was 4-1, had to send it to overtime, and it was none other than the hometown kid, J.R. Avon, scoring that go-ahead goal to send you to the tiebreaker against the T-Birds. How was that locker room after that game, coming back all the way from 4-1? You guys basically pulled a Boston Bruins against the Maple Leafs. People were just screaming, it was 4-1 for the hosts, and they just collapsed.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it was crazy. We went into that dressing room in the second intermission, and we got torn apart pretty bad. I'll be honest, and we knew our backs were against the wall, and we had nothing to lose. So we just went out there, put it or like gave it our all, and then obviously Stiller has that fight, and then JR makes that go ahead goal, and obviously in the room we were excited, we were happy, but we knew the job wasn't done. We had a big game the next day against Seattle Thunderbirds, which they beat us in the play-in before. So it was a big game. We fell short, but I think we did well when we were in Kamloops.
100%.
Yeah, I think I remember, Dally, you were wearing your Blazers jersey and you were still cheering for every Ontario team.
I'm an Ontario guy. What can I say? Always got a rep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember my home team was out, but I'm like, you know what? I'm repping the Pete's here. I mean, you guys got Michael Simpson,
Yeah.
London kid, stood on his head, all series, all playoffs. So it's
Yeah,
great to
Simmer
see
was
that.
awesome. He led us to that championship win, and then he played amazing in the Memorial Cup in Kamloops as well.
Well, fast forward into this year now, like you had two ex Pete's teammates, you know, playing each other actually in the finals. This was the first Memorial Cup final since 2017 when there was an all OHL final when it was Windsor and Erie, and then this year that just passed, it was London and Saginaw. You had Owen Beck versus Michael Simpson. I'm sure it was tough to see who you wanted to win.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Yeah, so I went to those games in Saginaw, and me and Becker are pretty close. Me and Simmer are good buddies as well. But yeah, it was hard to cheer for one team, but yeah, no, it was awesome seeing Becker raise that cup and him winning the MVP as well, which was pretty cool. Like Simmer did the year before. So yeah, it was hard to cheer for one guy, but no, I was definitely happy to see an ex-Pete lift that cup again.
Always a lot of respect for the players, man, and especially you. Like you guys put your heart and soul out there on the line to get to where you were at the finals in the Memorial Cup. Like when whether you're first or you're fourth in the tournament doesn't matter. You all got there and you all played with your hearts out on your sleeves. So it's awesome to see, and you all deserve a congratulations, no matter where you place. If you win it all or you lose it all, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no,
Just to
obviously,
be there is a tremendous accomplishment.
yeah, exactly. No, like yeah, everyone's there for a reason. Like yeah, you either won your league or you were hosting the cup, and if you're hosting the cup, you're a great team as well. So yeah, everyone who's there, it's definitely a high end team.
So you finish your OHL career with 16 goals, 28 assists, 44 points, and 195 PIMs. I mean, that's well rounded for your type of game. Exactly what you're saying. Like, no doubt that NHL teams were scouting you heavily because you fit right in that mold of shutdown defenseman who also sticks up for his teammates when he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, I believe my game's made for playoff hockey as well. And yeah, I like the hard nosed physical game. I actually think when guys play me hard and guys are physical against me, it gets me into the game more as well. So yeah, no, it was definitely a great time playing for Peterborough and Owen Sound. And yeah, it was definitely a great time to spend with those teams.
Do you know for sure if you're reporting straight to the Gulls come September, or are you heading back to Owen Sound at all?
It's still up in the air. I'm not too sure if I'll be back in the OHL for my overage year or be in the AHL. It's still to be determined.
Speaking about the AHL, you got to play a few games for the Gulls and you scored your first AHL goal. How cool of a moment was it to get that first one off your
Yeah, no,
belt?
it was awesome. Like I said, putting up points isn't really my game, yeah, it was pretty neat that it happened. But yeah, no, something happened, and so I flew out on like our season finished in Owen Sound, and the next morning, there like San Diego was calling to have me out there. So flew out like the day after, and got out there, hung out with the like few of the guys for a little bit because I got like in the afternoon. And the next morning they were already having a game, so I went into that morning skate, just giving it my all, trying to make a good impression. And then something happened, and the coach came up to me and was like, "Smitty, when's the last time you played?" I go, "My season just finished 2 nights ago." And he's like, "So you're fresh?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, you're gonna be in tonight," which was crazy to me because I was told I was gonna play the following weekend and get a whole week of practices under my belt. And yeah, just I got fed to the wolves, which I like, and played that game that day. And it was a 3-0 game, and there was kind of a broken play, and I think Nathan Gaucher hit the D-man at like their blue line. That D-man's helmet came off. He had to leave the puck there, change, and it was a 2-on-1. I jumped up as a third guy to make it a 3-on-1, and it actually goes all the way back to my first dev camp. Judd Caulfield was my roommate, and he was actually the one that passed me the puck for my first goal, which is
Nice.
pretty neat. So yeah, no, it was definitely a great experience, and all the boys were pumped.
Do you have any off-season plans, or are you just going to be relaxing until training camp fires back up here within a month's time?
Yeah, no, obviously a lot of summer training going on. I train over at the USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. I got a great group of guys there, and great like strength and conditioning staff there. So I'm there Monday to Friday, and then lots of skates during the week as well. But no, this past weekend I was up hanging out with Owen Beck up in Bob Cajun. Caught my first ever fish actually, which is pretty neat. A
sweet.
walleye. Yeah, so I don't really know too much about fish, but all I know is that I couldn't hold it by the mouth because the teeth or something like that. So I had to hold it by the gill. But no, it was me and him were great buddies, so it was definitely good seeing him up there.
Your favorite jersey that you've worn throughout your entire professional hockey career so far? What has been the most favorite tarp that you have donned?
Tough question. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to say the Peterborough Petes jersey with the Memorial Cup logo on there. It was definitely, it was neat seeing it because I think that was the first year bringing back the patches. So it was pretty neat having the patch on the jersey. I'd probably say that one. Or my first game in San Diego, it was called like Emo Night. And it was like blacked out jerseys. It was like black on black. So yeah, it was pretty neat. But I definitely see the Pete's one with the Memorial Cup patch.
Did you get to keep any of your game-worn Memorial Cup jerseys?
Yeah, I do have I think it's the white Memorial Cup jersey with the patch on it. So yeah, it was. I think we got it at the end of the season. It was like a little surprise gift in our bag when we went home. So it was definitely nice.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's it, gentlemen. Thank you, Konnor. We really, really appreciate you coming on, man. Either way, we'd love to have you on in maybe a year, either maybe as a OHL or Memorial Cup champion if you're back in the O, or a seasoned pro after 1 year in the AHL or whatever, if you end up in the playoffs, however that goes, we'd love to have you back. We'll see how your year goes. But again, thank you so much, man, for coming on. We really appreciate it and wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It
And
was
wish you nothing but the
a lot
best
of
in the
fun doing
AHL.
this. My first podcast. So, yeah, thanks for having me out here, and I look forward to doing another one in a year's time.
Perfect.
Sweet, man. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you too.
Awesome.
Thank
Take
you
care,
guys.
Konnor.
Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in to this very special episode of the Gamedaytarps podcast. And we very much appreciate Konnor Smith as well for tuning in and joining us.
And as always, everyone, please follow us everywhere at Gamedaytarps. Subscribe to this YouTube channel that you're watching this video on. Leave a like for us and for Konnor, because, again, we really appreciate him coming on. Follow our partner accounts as well, with Wilbs at Wilbs Puck and Daeden at Blue Nose Hockey. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in to episode 37 of Gamedaytarps podcast.